get started. So this session is basically continuing with the discussion that we had on Monday on functional testing, functional coverage. So basically, certification team, we always have a blueprint where we discuss what we are going to do in terms of certification testing for the next release, for 12.10 this case. And we in this UDS we have divided into two sessions: the functional coverage, meaning the things that we are going to add to our coverage, which we cover already in a session on Monday, and the other bits that we discuss is more about the process and how we should be testing the development release in order to arrive to release day knowing that more or less things work. So in terms of process, one of the big changes for us is going to be the use of the 12.10 kernel and other needed bits for hardware enablement into 12.04. So not only we are going to test it, but once 12.10 gets released, everything that we certify for 12.10, we are going to certify it as well for 12.04 using those bits. So there was a session yesterday about how kernel team and the EX team are going to manage during development the 12.10 kernel into 12.04. In the end, it was decided that it's going to be PPA that is going to have everything that is needed, or is supposed to be needed. And so we will need to integrate that in our infrastructure. So, Daniel, do you have ideas on how we can integrate that as part of the development process?
Not part of the testing process. Cool. Well, I think that, like, installing stuff from a PPA would really be a problem. It's a no-brainer with the infrastructure that we have. What would be challenging is maybe like making it so that we run the testing for 12.04, we can install the PPA stuff, reboot, and do the testing for 12.10. In that respect, I think it might be easier to somehow make it just do two different runs. So coordinating that is going to consume a bit more time, but I think the pieces are in place for us to do that. We can certainly have the quick installation that we do, install everything from VTA, and test afterwards.
So what about situations that you won't be able to install from 12.04 that you need the kernel from 12.10 to boot? Like if there's newer hardware that introduced a newer SAS controller or static controller or something.
But that you would want to. So 12.04.2 ISO will have the newer kernel on it.
Right.
That's not quite what you're.
But in their preparation for leading up to that.
Yeah, that's not quite what you. Yeah, how do you image your systems normally?
Fixability.
Okay. So you could. So if there were images available of 12.04.2 early with that kernel, you could pixie boot with the newer kernel, right?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. But the easiest way, really easy, would be if I can have a CD image with all the new bits. That's
So it would seem like although I have absolutely nothing to do with generating CD images, as far as I'm aware, it would be both technically possible and not particularly high maintenance to generate those images reasonably frequently, like once a week or something after release, that you'd want to talk with someone in Foundations, possibly, or Martin Pitt, like someone in Foundations or Martin Pitt to get that set up. But I don't think that would be, and I don't think that would be an onerous burden on them.
What's the delta we're talking about? Because even with 10.04 on the DVD ISO for server, there was already the backports kernels from your releases.
Yeah, but the thing is here we are not. So that's fine for when release comes out. But during development release, what we want to do is to test those bits on a weekly basis. So the thing is that the point releases images are not generated on a weekly basis.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that we have to look into. I mean, we can do a test run and do a for installation, install everything from the PA and see if that results in a working system. I'm not sure if that's already been discussed, but whatever procedure they recommend for like including these bits into a live 12.04 system, we can do that. So when there's a recommended procedure for that, we can try to follow that and see where it leads us.
So I think there's a tool in the archive called Ubuntu Defaults Builder that lets you build with a PPA, like do a regular Ubuntu CD build, but then pull in the delta from a PPA. So if you don't have something that's happening automatically from Foundations, maybe don't just stick yourself with that.
What's the name of that?
I believe it's called Ubuntu Defaults Builder.
That might be.
Either. So yeah, we will need to come up with an idea on how to do this. So another thing that we will need to solve during this cycle to have it ready. It's how we present that on. So basically, what we are going to do is we are going to, if a system, a new hardware comes out, we are going to certify it with 12.10 and also with 12.04 with 12.10 kernel. So basically, we will need to. We will need to come up with a solution in the web, so in the internal one and the public one to present that somehow. So basically, we will have systems that are certified for 2 different releases, which we already have, but one of those releases is not going to be the default kernel. So we have something in place already for servers, not for this case in particular, but for servers we say which kernel it's certified for. Would that be enough, or we needed to call it out?
Also, when you download the ISO, shouldn't it be linking to the .release ISO that would have that kernel by default?
Sorry?
Wouldn't the point release ISO have that updated kernel by default though when you boot it off of it? So you wouldn't have to call that special?
I don't know. I think it's
So
going to be the default one.
So the decision that we made last UDS is indeed that if you download and install 12.04.2, which is the first point release that will have the new stack, you will get the new stack of that. The live CD will have the new stack, you will install it, it will use the new stack by default. That's apparently not everyone has that recollection, and I need to ensure that, like, it was documented as that. I just need to ensure that everyone still agrees that that is what we're doing, because that's what we said we would do. But that's
Right.
That's my understanding of it.
Can you repeat that note? And then we need to double check whether that's going to be the case. So I agree, if the default image is going to get the new stack, then we don't have to call it out.
And are you going to call out the .police version in that area where the customer comes to see a particular Dell platform, see what it was certified with? Are you going to use the family product name full of UDS and leave it at that, and let the kernel speak for itself in terms of?
I think we will, so we will need to call something out. So if the new stack is going to be default, we will need to call out for the point release image.
You say 1204.2, right?
And if not, it's not the default, we'll need to call out for the kernel or something else. Basically, we won't be able to say certified for 1204 and that's it, because that might be confusing. What else? So last cycle we did a shift. We changed a little bit how we did testing of the development release. So before 1204, we did weekly testing on the automated, basically weekly testing, automatic testing on every system that is supposed to be scheduled for 1210, 1204, and then on milestone testing, we did in beta 2 we tried to do, in beta 1 we tried to do a full certification. Thing that happened is that most of the stuff that didn't work, it wasn't caught by our automation, and therefore the time that we did a full server run, it was way too late to have everything fixed. So we decided to change into select a set of systems, around 25 systems, based on the feedback from the kernel team. So we did a selection of the system that we are planning to certify for the release. Gave that list to, well, do a minimum set of systems that will cover everything. Then give that to the kernel team and work with them to say, from this system we need to get maximum around 20-25 that we are going to test on a weekly basis. But then each milestone we are going to do full cert to try to get as much bugs as possible. Do you guys think if that works better?
It's always good to have the testing in advance, so if there is a problem, you have a significant time to fix it. So I don't know, are you saying you're testing right before the milestone, or right after the milestone?
Right after the milestone.
Okay, so then if it's broken for that milestone, and we'll try to fix it for the next milestone.
Yeah.
And that's.
But the thing is that, well, to do that in our capacity, we basically only test a set of systems, which is a little bit of risk management. What do we want to do? Cover everything only with automatic testing, or come up with a set of systems that we fully test, including manual testing every milestone to get
very valuable to do that, to catch.
Yeah.
It's a breadth of machines which we haven't got in our homes, so it's a good ticket, to catch them today. I appreciate the effort to do that. I already need gratitude to say this. Let's say what he thinks.
Well, I would voice that we would prefer to have a full cert run against all the systems earlier in the release cycle, because what happened this time around was that full certification against all systems was done way past kernel freeze, which forced us to do more work to provide a day zero kernel for a boot essential issue that was detected that had a full certification run been run across all systems, even around beta. It would have been an easy fix rather than a last minute scrum.
Okay, so you prefer basically to switch to the, well, or maybe...
And I understand there's, constraints that you guys are stretched thin, not only doing, SRU testing and the weekly kernel cadence and everything, but I think there should be some sort of slot in there, even if it's just a quick smoke test of just do the system's boot. I mean, and I forget who it was able to image the systems within 15 minutes and of all, full lab and give us some feedback.
Maybe what we could do is to try to come up with a subset of tests, even if some of them are
Yeah, it
wrong.
doesn't have, ideally we want the full certification run, but if that's not possible, even if we can just get a minimal, do they boot to the network type of thing.
Yeah, that can be done automatically, but maybe we could do the smoke test that we do of external monitor, suspend, resume.
Yeah, basics. Yeah, we can have a subset of the most troublesome tests and do a manual run on most systems. That's not so time consuming that we can't do it. This would be a good indication. Yeah, so what we can do is take a list of the tests that we have and identify the ones that are the most troublesome. So if they are automated, then it's an automatic win. But let's not shy away from manual testing. So if we find a few that are manual, okay, we do it. Okay.
What time frame do you think would be best?
So,
because if we do it very, very early, everything's
right.
going to be
So kernel freeze is what, October 4th, and I forget what milestones are around there, but I would beta 1 is.
So yeah.
So I would say at least beta 1 would give us a good cushion, at least a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that gives us a month before kernel freeze to at least try to get some bugs fixed, rather than waiting till we release and then find out, oh crap, we gotta push a day zero kernel.
Yeah. Or, full run of beta 1.
Okay. So using the beta 1 image or before beta 1?
Obviously, before beta 1 would be
Okay.
good. But if that's not possible.
No, we can say by feature freeze. Yeah. So we have.
Yeah, I mean, just a checkpoint in the middle there is. Can you just give us an idea of how long it takes for you guys to do one of your full in-depth certification runs against all systems in the lab? Like how time consuming is it for you?
Well, it depends. Right now, we don't have a number for what would be a reduced set of tests. I can tell you that doing a full set of tests, that what we do in one system takes about 30 minutes. Yeah, that's what we take for one system.
But you can do those in parallel, correct?
Up to a point. There comes a point where basically systems are asking you stuff all the time and you don't gain an advantage by having 10, 15 systems in parallel. I'd say that we could do maybe for 3 or 4 in 1 hour, that's as fast as we can reasonably go. Because if you go beyond that, systems are asking you stuff all the time, and context switching is actually slowing it down. Yeah, so that's what that's about the speed we have when we're doing like the actual application run. Now, if we're talking about a reduced set of tests, we can potentially go faster, so that would be something to look into. Like looking at the most favorite run tests, the ones that are most likely cause problems, and focus on those. For instance, I know that USD usually doesn't give that much trouble, so I probably won't test that. But Pendulum, which is potentially troublesome, I certainly want to test that.
So, apart from trying to test on a weekly basis, both 12.04, 12.10, full run before beta 1 in both 12.04 and 12.10. Anything else that we should be doing for the development release?
So you'll be doing the weekly smoke testing as well on a subset of machines for 12, 10, and
yes. So basically, we will select a set of systems. For example, the minimum that covers everything, and we will do automated testing on them.
Would it make sense to move that set of machines around? So instead of having, say, 10 machines each time, have a different set of machines, for example, to a rotating board, get widest amount of coverage.
Okay, I don't know. I thought it was so. We thought that if we did that, we would never have a baseline to compare to.
It's difficult because we kind of want the ideal world to have complete breadth to catch everything. Time, so I think whatever choice we make is going to be somewhat.
So maybe you should tier machines, first tier machines, like a dozen of them more.
And then rotate around, yeah, that's a good idea.
You know, like you make the other machines into your own machines.
I like that idea. Coverage and consistency as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm not sure if that's it depends of the coverage that we have in automatic testing. If you have a lot of coverage, then
The set that you're using is representative of the biggest hardware, right?
yeah, that's what we did for trouble. And Colin was suggesting to that representative set to be changed over time during the release.
Right.
So probably the best thing is to pick some which will consistently test each time, and another pool of machines which will just rotate through. So 10 tier machines, 10 others, and then others which will change each time.
Doing like a sliding
To get some that doesn't change over time to get a baseline, and then over time that rotates.
Okay, so 20 no.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's a number.
What numbers reading?
It's not set in stone.
Yeah, I think he's just yeah, the system you don't.
Well, why would you think that just because I had a bug once, it's going to progress again?
Sorry,
But if it fixes that. Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else that we think should be covering?
Well, no, knowing the point at which it's not useful to do the full vision testing before kernel fix, that's the
Yeah. Anything else that needs to be discussed? Okay, so the last bit would be ARM. So any ARM people? No? No, so basically we haven't certified yet anything in ARM, and by 12.10 we would like to, well, at least this cycle we would like to start testing our tools to make sure that they are able to run on ARM. So I was hoping to get some feedback.
Is there a reason why these ARM systems would follow a different policy than
Well, basically it's how we, so our tools are based a lot on the hardware information that are given back, and that's very different in ARM. So it's not a change of policy, basically, but we'll need to make sure that the tools are working and simplified.
You're talking about ARM laptops? Mostly? Like closed events and stuff.
Mostly on servers. Well, if a laptop comes with an ARM chip that we want to certify, we will use it. But I think it's more likely that we see something on the ARM server stuff. Maybe not. That's something that we had on 1204 blueprint as well, and in the end, nothing happened. So
Maybe that'll happen again.
maybe we will be having the same conversation in 6 months. Okay, so if nobody else has any comments, we can leave it there.
Well, one thing I'd like to comment is there was a very specification of a machine that wasn't in the SRU testing tool and actually had a problem that we thought for some unrelated reason. So in this case, it would be interesting to add that machine to the pool so that it's test-driven development. If I find a problem, I need to ensure that it doesn't happen again. The way to do that is to put that machine in the test pool because we have a test that catches that particular problem. The problem with this is that the test pool is going to grow over time. So default, that's just one thing that I'd like to see done, but has a downside that you will see the testing pool potentially grow every time a machine fails some tests. So what we can do is then we can, if we want to keep the pool size constant, we can potentially remove a machine that hasn't failed. So we can, it can be like a queue of systems that go in and out. I don't know if it's complicated.
So we know basically the device that was causing the bug. So it was a particular device right on the system.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we want to see in Hexa is a canonical internal tool that basically has hardware information on it, and you can there is a feature where you can get a minimum set of systems that cover basically every device. So there is a new feature that we want to see, the ability to switch one system from another one. And we could try to do something like that, because obviously if you, or maybe even think about another way to do it, another feature for the same tool, that we want to add a system, which one we can remove, something. So the other way around. So we want to add a system. Can we, thanks to the coverage that it gives, can we remove another one? If we can, we do it, and if we can't, we don't.
I just made a quick proposal on how to handle testing now. We basically make all the tests depend on I3 sequence for a core architecture. So in the beginning, checkbox should run as a basic tool, but it won't actually run tests because they will require an architecture that's not present on ARM. But as we start making sure that the tests run on ARM, we can remove that requirement or add ARM whatever to the architecture. So the test coverage will grow as we fix that. The advantage with this approach is that we potentially don't need an extra package or to maintain a separate whitelist or pretty much anything.
That's a good point.
Anything additional. And like basically at the architectural level, checkbox is not hardware dependent, but some of the tests may use LSPCI or stuff that's not working now. So instead of going and identifying those in one huge effort that's going to produce a lot of bugs, we can do it incrementally. So it's a proposal.